Of the Fairfield RTM on Monday, October 28th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Steve Chesery. Nancy Lefkowitz. Here. Michael Mahoney.
Here.
Amy O'Shea. Here. Bill Gerber. Here. Aaron Lopez. Here. Eric Newman. Here. Cindy Parham. Here. Alex Durrell. Here. Matt Jacobs. Cassandra Marshall. Here. Sharon Pastilli. Here. Alice Kelly. Here. Phil Pierce.
Here.
Bonnie Ratelli. Here. Marcy Spallier. Here. Josh Garskoff. Here. Joe Siebert. Here. Ruth Smay. Here. Jay Wolk. Here. Matt Ambrose. Steve Barretts. Here. Hannah Gale. Here. Lisa Havey. Present. Lauren Bovey. Here. Mark McDermott. Here. Jill Vergara. Here. Karen Wackerman. Here. Carrie Burcham. Pamela Iacono. Here. Christine Messina. Pete Tallman. Here. Brian Farnan. Here. Drew Georgiadis. Here. Doreen Herron. Here. Margaret Horton. Here. Sam Cargill. Here. Michael Hurley. Frank Batiste. Eric Sunman. Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 2 on our agenda is to consider and act upon the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 23rd, 2019. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Wackerman, seconded by Representative Iacono. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? I'm going to abstain for the record. I was not there. Item 3, to hear a report from the Joint Retirement Investment Board. We heard this report in committee and there was no follow-up. Item 4, to consider and act upon the following appointment to the Ethics Commission as recommended by the Board of Selectmen, Francis L. O'Reilly. Mr. O'Reilly has indicated that he's withdrawn his nomination to the Ethics Commission, so we're not acting on this item. 5, to consider and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Finance. Resolved that a bond resolution entitled A Resolution Amending and Restating a Resolution entitled A Resolution Appropriating $3,088,000 for the costs associated with construction of berm and pumping station and authorizing the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation to increase the amount of the appropriation and bond authorization to $7,419,265 be and hereby is approved, and further resolved that the town agrees to pay only the $385,000 previously agreed to as part of this appropriation. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Garskoff, seconded by Representative Iacono. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Item 6, to consider. Much appreciated. Item 6, essentially the same thing. All those in favor, or sorry, is there a motion to approve this item? Moved by Representative Wackerman, seconded by Representative Gale. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public on item 6 on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Item 7, to consider and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Resolved that the town of Fairfield sell a portion of the property known as 135 Pine Creek Avenue to 123 Pine Creek Associates, LLC for the sum of $66,000 as more particularly set forth in a real estate sales agreement between said parties, and further resolved that the proceeds of the sale shall be deposited into the Grace Richardson Trust Fund. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Beauvais, seconded by Representative Iacono. Is there any discussion on this item? Representative Wackerman.
Karen Wackerman, District 7. So it was determined that actually the name of the fund is the H. Smith Richardson Trust Fund, so I move that we amend the resolution to correct it from Grace Richardson Trust Fund to H. Smith Richardson Trust Fund.
Okay, there's a motion before the body to amend it, the resolution, so that the proceeds are deposited into the H. Smith Richardson Trust Fund. Is there a second for the motion? Seconded by Representative Pastilli. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend the resolution? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public on the motion to amend the resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to amend signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries, so the item is before the body as amended. Is there any discussion on the item as amended? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Item 8, to here consider and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Town Plan and Zoning Commission. Resolved that in accordance with a request from the Town Plan and Zoning Commission, the donation of 3.66 acres at 1150 Westport Turnpike from Aspetuck Farms 1 LLC be and hereby is accepted. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Iacono, seconded by Representative Kelly. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to the item? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. We'll go to item 1 on the first supplemental warning. To here consider and act upon the request from the CFO to approve transfers as of June 30, 2019, reserved for future uses, increase change in market valuation revenue, $1,400,000, increase building permit revenue, $700,000, increase pilot program nonprofit, $600,000, increase transfers out debt service, $2,700,000. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Iacono, seconded by Representative Vergara. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, is there any comment from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. We'll go to the second supplemental warning, item 2. To here consider and act upon the following resolution as recommended by the Board of Selectmen. Resolved that the town of Fairfield, by its first selectman, is authorized to enter into a 10-year lease agreement to rent premises located at 3400 Fairfield Avenue, Bridgeport, for the Board of Education's maintenance facility and operations. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Representative Vergara, seconded by Representative Iacono. Is there any discussion on this item? Representative Gerber.
Bill Gerber, District 2. Thank you to Mr. Papageorge for getting back to me with some additional numbers. I just want to ask one question of Town Attorney Lesser. This was a question I sent last week, and it was the town website, and I gave the link, appears to show significant real estate tax due to the town for 418 Meadow Street. I believe what I calculated was about $135,000 outstanding, but I'm not sure if that's correct. In addition, it's my understanding the town anticipates prevailing in its legal disputes with Julian, which could result in substantial dollar amounts owed by them to the town. Can you foresee, under any reasonable scenario, any advantages for the town by remaining in occupancy at 418 Meadow Street, especially relating to our ability to collect on amounts owed to the town, whether cash or other assets such as the building itself? And if so, were these discussed in any public meetings or any boards, and what conclusions were reached?
I don't see any significant advantages to staying based on what you've just asked.
Okay. That was one of my, and that is because the tax lien that we have will be collected regardless, and there's no impact of being in the building. Okay. So my, when back in June, one of the reasons I voted, and I think we amended that item to include subject to the Board of Selectmen approval, but I voted to approve that the 418 Meadow Street lease subject to approval by the Board of Selectmen. One of the reasons why I did that was I thought it was a good deal. Another one was I thought, which apparently was mistaken, that being in that building gave us some advantages. The cost is something we should all be aware of, and I just want to go over this because I'm not sure everyone's actually looked at it in detail, because I've seen some misconceptions of this on various social media posts. But it looks like, and actually through you to Mr. Papageorge, who's here, it looks like our increase in rent is about $600,000. We have $142,000 in transportation expenses to move. We have about $320,000 in savings, which come from storage fees savings and not having to replace the portable. And we have, the move expenses. And so in total, actually, the net is about $400,000. So could I ask Mr. Papageorge to
You just wanted to confirm that amount?
To confirm that number.
Mr. Papageorge. Yes.
Yes, those numbers are correct.
Okay. Thank you. So the only concern I have, and this is also one of my questions to Mr. Flynn, was would the Board of Finance be able to commit to covering the $142,000 moving expenses, which could be difficult for the Board of Ed at this time, since they would probably have to come out of some other area of their budget. And he said that they plan to take this up in November, but I would like to urge publicly urge the Board of Finance to vote in favor of covering the $142,000, so that the cost to the Board of Ed wouldn't be the full $400,000, and they'd get some relief, at least in this year, for the $142,000 moving expenses. Thank you.
Further discussion from members of the body? Representative Iacono?
Jerry, is here? Okay. Pamela Iacono, District 8. First, I just want to, again, repeat for the record that I really appreciate a new set of eyes on this entire lease. I now think that this is a great situation that the Board of Ed has found for themselves. Larger square footage, we're going to be consolidating services, and at a lower cost per square foot. So again, I commend the Superintendent of Schools and the Executive Director of Operations and the Board of Education for answering the call to take lemons and make lemonade. I also, Mr. Moderator, if you'll allow me, the Republican caucus of the Board of Finance wasn't able to be here this evening, but as ex officio members, they've issued a statement. The Fairfield Board of Finance Republican Caucus announces that after due deliberations, its caucus unanimously supports the Board of Education's proposed lease of premises located at 34 Fairfield Avenue, Bridgeport, Connecticut, comprised of 12,316 square feet. Further, it also unanimously supports expending approximately $141,768 from the town budget for the anticipated move costs needed to prepare the new space and move the maintenance facility, 418 Meadow Street, Fairfield, Connecticut, Transportation Department, Richford White Way, and central storage areas to the new location. While these costs might normally be spent from the BOE budgeted funds, the Republican caucus believes that because of the late notice to the BOE, these funds were not properly contained in their budget. Further, the cost savings detailed in a memorandum by Angeles Papageorge, Executive Director of Operations of the Fairfield Public Schools, dated October 3rd, 2019, makes it clear that the taxpayers in Fairfield will save many times this expenditure over the years by making this wise and well-reasoned plan that will centralize these three departments into this one location for a square footage cost well below the existing lease. We would like to thank Superintendent Michael Cummings, Executive Director of Operations Angeles Papageorge, the Board of Education, and any others involved for finding this opportunity. We are requesting the representative town meeting to approve this matter on their agenda this evening. Our Republican caucus is taking this unusual move to announce our unanimous support of this matter in order to show the RTM our support of this agenda item and to also correct misleading statements being portrayed in social media of late that our Republican caucus might vote against such a great project. As stated, we stand in full support of approving the lease and expending town funds to accomplish the renovation of the building and associated move costs. Thomas M. Flynn, Chairman, James B. Brown, Vice Chairman, Mary LeClaire, Secretary, Christopher DeWitt, James F. Walsh, and David Becker. Thank you.
Further discussion on the item? It was just read into the record. Further discussion on the item? Seeing none, is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak to the item? Seeing none, we'll come back to the body. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Representative Smay. Any abstentions? The motion carries. Item 9, to consider and act upon any other matters presented to said meeting in which may be properly acted upon under the rules of the representative town meeting. I just want to recognize the members that are not running for re-election: Nancy Lefkowitz, District 1, Bonnie Ratelli, District 4, myself, Ruth Smay, Steve Barretts, Doreen Herron, Sam Cargill, Michael Hurley, and Eric Sudman. I know the town has appreciated all of your service to the RTM, and personally I just want to thank the body for allowing me to serve as moderator the last 2 years. It was a great learning experience and I enjoyed it. Thank you. If anyone doesn't have anything else. Representative Barretts? Yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to congratulate Steve Barretts, District 6. I would just like to congratulate the Fairfield Ward boys soccer team, who this afternoon completed an undefeated season, and congratulate Coach Justin Ottavio, Coach Chris Lovelet, and for selfish reasons I would mention some players, but Coach Ottavio has always set the example of team before individual, and so I will keep it at that. So I just want to formally congratulate the Fairfield Ward boys soccer team.
Any other items under agenda item 9? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Representative Iacono, seconded by Representative Pastilli. We'll adjourn. Thank you.